The Writer's Block. This is the first episode of The Writer's Block. It's basically a place for nerds to talk about books. We could talk about other things too. There's a lot going on in the world right now. We don't have to subject it just to books, but that's the main reason why we're here. It's called The Writer's Block. The reason why I called it The Writer's Block, even though it's for readers, is without writers, we would have no readers. Isn't that just a freaking philosophical... Our first subject to touch on today is Kindle versus real books. I know there's been a large debate about that over the course of the years that Kindle came out. Who knows? I don't really know. I'll Google it later or whatever. I probably won't. I'm just lying. Basically, a lot of people have had stuff to say about the Kindle. A lot of people who love reading books, like myself, like the feel of a real book, the smell of a real book. But we're in 2018. Shit changes, man. Sorry, I just got sucked up in that book real quick because it felt so real, and I haven't really, The feeling of going to a library is something that many book lovers still reminisce about, and if they still go to a library, they have that feeling of, okay, you go into a library, that smell, that scent, that stuff takes you back to when you were a kid. Takes you back to when your mom would take you to the library, and if you didn't go to the library as a kid, then you probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But if you did go to the library as a kid, you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about, and you feel it too, and you're having a moment right now as I'm talking about it. You're thinking about your little self sitting in the corner, having a grand old freaking time with the damn book in your hand, and I feel you, sir, or ma'am, or gender pronoun neutral. People feel like having that book in your hand is the best feeling ever, and the pages flipping through each one, dog earing. I know some people are really against dog earing. I don't care. I'm too cool for dog earing, okay? I don't dog ear. I don't bookmark. I'm way too cool for that. You know what I do? I repeat the number in my head 500 times. That is a pro to having this. Dog earing, good old bookmarking between your favorite color, bookmark. I know when I was a kid I had bookmarks. I just used pretty much anything I found. A receipt, bookmark. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Your mom's check that she's supposed to give to your teacher for a field trip, bookmark. That your teacher sending your mom a letter saying that you're not going on the field trip because she didn't pay, bookmark. That was me back in the day. Another pro to having a book is you can highlight. You can highlight and kind of make notes to yourself physically what parts you liked about the book, or what part that, if it's yours, of course. If you have a library book, stop defacing these library books, because I don't care about the notes that you had in your dumb library book, because it's now I'm reading it and I'm seeing your notes that's ruining my experience. But if it's your own book, it's actually very rewarding to be able to highlight, write, give yourself insight, give your future self insight, because we all know that we read books 7 to 8 times if it's a really good book. I know that I've read some of my favorite books 20 times. Holes is one of them. We all know the Harry Potter series is always going to be top 10. But yeah, I read Holes seriously enough times to probably tell you word for word how the intro starts. You got to go dig them holes. Digging up them holes, dig it. Digging up them holes, dig it, dig it. The cons are, I'm one of those people that will read a book, and I tell you, I kid you not, I won't talk to anyone. I won't go anywhere. I will literally breathe the book, okay? Eat, sleep, and breathe the book. Speaking of eating, I'll eat with the book, and then I'll get stuff all over the book, and then there's this big ass stain from who knows when. I know I borrowed a book one time, a Harry Potter book, from one of the people I know. I won't say who it is, because then they'll know and they'll go search for the book and see what I did to it. But I did I did spill some food on it. I have also spilled grape juice on someone else's book. I also did spill juice on a book that I had for school one time, and it sat in my backpack over winter break with the juice spill on it, and when it came back it was rotten and it smelled like that, but I had to keep the book because it was a school book, so I now had to smell that smell every time I opened the book. So that's a con. That's definitely a freaking con, because had I just did it on my Kindle, I'd just go wipe, son, but it was on the book. Forever defaced. Who hasn't read Fahrenheit 451? These are books that are classics. These are books that I don't even think I'd want on a Kindle. So there goes a con of a Kindle. There are some books in life that you need to have the real freaking copy of. You need to have the real book of some of these. Like Harry Potter, if you don't have a Harry Potter the series, if you're running around with Kindle thinking that that's going to make you feel good at life, you're wrong. You're wrong, bucko. I feel like that's a pro. You know, you need to be carrying that book. You need to walk around knowing that you have that book in your collection. Be classic, and you can pass it to someone else, or you can pass it down to your family, or you can pass it down to your kids. I think that's a pro. In the future, I'm not going to say, here, Johnny. I'm never going to name my kid Johnny, though. That's kind of Caucasian. But here, you know, this is my Kindle. You want to be able to physically give someone that book. You want to be able to physically give someone a good book, like a classic. Go out and buy the physical book. Go out and get that for yourself. And this is why I stand for the Kindle in a sense. The Kindle is something that you can bring with you everywhere. Another pro is you can go to the library and rent books for your Kindle. And it'll go on your Kindle whenever the book's open. If it's not being on hold by someone else, you can go and get library books on your Kindle. So you don't have to pay after you buy the Kindle. Yes, it's one lump sum when you pay for it, but then again, you go to the library, you don't have to worry about it again. You don't have to go to the library. You can go on your local library's website, and they have it there as well. And you just make an account, and you can get library books. I also like when you're laying down and you're reading a book, and you're kind of like, if you're like me, I normally read laying down. So I'm holding the book like this, and after a while, this stance gets tiring. It does. You can lie to me and tell me it doesn't get tiring, but y'all got some Sasquatch hands then if you don't get tired, because this pinky here is a little small pinky, and sometimes it has trouble holding the book open for long periods of time, and then I have a pinky strain, okay? But yeah, I do get tired of it, and the Kindle kind of alleviates that. You're holding the book generally like this, you're holding the book 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 like this, you hold it, BAM! You hold it any way you want to hold it, son. Another pro, there's a lot of pros for the Kindles, and I'm not trying to be biased, I'm just trying to say, you can go to the top, and for the people who have bad vision, you can make it bigger. So like, let's make it that big. So now you got some big words on your thing. For those of you guys who feel like, oh, I need the book because I need to highlight it, and that was one of my pros for the book. You can highlight, it's not the same though. And that's the con. It's not the same. There's so many pros to both. And I think it just needs to come back to the art of people just reading. I don't care if you read it on a Kindle. I don't care if you read a physical book. There's so much inside just a common book. And it opens your mind, it expands your mind. And it gives you insight into what a world could be, an alternate universe. Thank y'all for listening. Really, definitely thank you for viewing my first video. And hopefully there's a lot more and a lot more of you to come in the future. I'll have a P.O. box at the end of this video. Also in the bottom in the description. You can either send me books you want me to read or just give me the title. Comment the title. I'll read them. And comment below what your favorite books are. And tell me which ones are the timeless classics. The ones that you would never put on a Kindle. You'd rather just buy the physical book. Comment, like, share,